Blog Talk Radio.
Dianne Meinke on her way into the studio. Secret Lover is the name of the song. We'll be right back with her interview after this.
Never been the type to say what I feel. I keep everything inside. With you, it was no different. Wanted to tell you, and I've tried. There's a part of me that just can't take the chance. I doubt you'll ever know. Which may be fine with you, but it's killing me. So I choose not to let it show. I'm your secret lover. That name fits so right. Don't know what I love about you. You're on my mind day and night. There's a part of me that just can't take that chance. I doubt you'll ever know. Which may be fine with you, but it's killing me. So I choose not to let it show.
Dianne Meinke with Secret Lover on AVA Live Radio. Please welcome her to the broadcast. Hi, Dianne. How are you?
Hey, Jacqueline. How are you today?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's raining right now.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing. You know, the Albuquerque Journal, is it the Albuquerque Journal that's out there?
Yes. Yes.
They were our first show sponsor years and years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah,
I used to get the paper all the time, so I used to read the journal. We were actually featured in it, like I would say, I don't know, almost 10 years ago now, but we were featured in it quite a few times from them.
Very cool.
Pretty funny.
Very cool.
What's it like there for you in the music business? Are there places for you to play? Is it singer-songwriter base oriented?
It's been up and down. I would say it's a little bit more friendly to singer-songwriter now than it was when I first moved here about 12 years ago. And there's a lot of outside festivals that happen here, which are really good for, musicians to get their stuff out. So I think it's a lot more friendly now. We have an artsy kind of community here too. Nobbs Hill's a really kind of cool place for both art and music.
Nice. Now, are you primarily in music? Do you do more than just that? Are you into other forms of art too?
I actually was working with Jimi Hendrix original pieces with the family that owns the biggest collection and working on branding. I do my own branding as well and painting.
Nice. What kind of things do you paint?
Recently I've been working on an abstract style, and it encompasses mainly animals, cats and dogs primarily.
Yeah. Cool. I watch a lot of these, different artists online on Periscope. And it's like mesmerizing. It's the most relaxing scopes. They're like playing music and painting and just being creative and chatting. And I don't know why I get drawn into it. I like it. It's just fun to watch it. There's something very, very therapeutic about painting and watching that process.
It is very relaxing. It depends on the day and the inspiration. I might be writing a song, or it might be painting a painting, and it seems like the well never runs dry.
No, it doesn't, does it? Not with creation. It's what most inspires you? Do you listen to music and get inspired, or do you go around other artists and kind of just, feel like the inspiration hits you just from being around it?
Yeah, music definitely inspires me, other people's music. I love helping promote other artists. I think it's important that we do help each other, and that does inspire me. And to see other people helping other people. And then just, I guess, mood, how I feel today, also inspires me as well.
Wow, that's amazing. It's always interesting to hear what keeps you going and what inspires you. Now, you had a very inspirational event happen with your music with one of the artists that you love so much that, it's very sad that he died, but you liked Prince. Tell us about the story and what happened with you.
Yeah, I have been following his career from I love his music perspective and a business perspective for a long time. When he was, of course, with the label, the major label, all the way through where he, formerly known as Prince, he had to do that legally. So he could still, that's actually his real name. So he could keep his name, and finally that expired, and he was able to do his own. And very brilliant man. In his, his writing, his stage performance, his business ethics. And what happened with me on him, I know some people, I've worked with a lot of the people on the edge of the mainstream out of Florida, and one company was called Master Lab, and they, I was mastering my Read My Mind album with them. I decided to work with them. They called me and they said, "Hey, Dianne, we got to go up to Paisley Park, and I know we got your album on the schedule to master. Would you mind if we brought it to Paisley Park?" I'm like, "No." Of course not. So we mastered it up at Paisley Park, and then out of the blue, I got a phone call on my cell, and it was Trace. He was with Master Lab, and he said, "I've got somebody here that wants to talk to you." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Hi, Dianne, this is Prince." And at first I was like, "Okay, you guys are kidding me."
Oh, my gosh. That's great. He's like, "No, it's really me." You're like, "No way."
Yeah, no way. He said, "I really love your album." And he said, "Tell me, is a hit. It's a hit, Dianne."
That's so
and
great.
And sure enough,
nice.
Of course, it was in 2011.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. Now, tell us a little bit about where it was featured and what happened as you climbed the charts, and, just give us a little bit of the news since we weren't there.
I was working with a promoter by the name of Amanda Alexandrakis, and she was promoted 2 songs off of that album for me. And the song started to climb. It's Friday Morning Quarterback, and it's the industry insider. That's where all the main radio stations report to. Everybody thinks Billboard, but that's not it. I mean, Friday Morning Quarterback basically takes real numbers from real spins on real radio, and they, combine them and put out a weekly chart. But I was climbing the chart with Tell Me and made it to number 8 in a pool of all majors with my McDonald's French fry budget comparatively to theirs. I made it to number 8, and at the time, you'll remember Adele broke with Rolling in the Deep.
Yeah, that's a song. Great song.
I love that song too. She was at number 1. And right behind that, as that song was going down the charts, because every song has a life, and you never know what that might be.
Right.
The second tune climbed, called "I'll Wait Forever."
Ah, nice.
And it made it to number 11.
Congratulations. Very, very cool. Well, I can only imagine that Prince's phone call must have been like a lifetime so far of inspiration to you, because when you have that connection, with an artist, it lasts. You just always think about it, and you always kind of play it in your mind almost like a, just something that just keeps you going, and that you actually did speak to somebody and reach someone with your music in a really memorable way. How do you feel? Like, did you know as much about him when you first talked to him as you do now?
No, I didn't. And
it's amazing how you just get inspired. Oh my gosh, devastating, right?
It was devastating when he died. Yeah.
I know, devastating to me too. I've always followed him, and I've always liked his music, and I didn't actually know a lot about the backstory of Prince until, of course, they released so many biographies about the artist, and they track his whole music progress on these films on TV. I didn't know that the music labels that he was with really were just staying in it with him until the film came out, and that really does speak to how influential film and music videos and stuff can really be to an artist. As talented as they might be, sometimes it doesn't take off until that. How do you feel about it, and where social media is at today, and what it can bring to an artist?
I think it's a double-edged sword. Number one, there's a lot more opportunity out there, but it's almost kind of like gone from a pond to an ocean. And so trying to find your way through the ocean to meet your goals, to make things happen, it's actually a little more difficult because there's so much out there. But you're right, video, and that's one of the areas where I'm going to be exploring a lot more, and I've been watching a lot of your videos, I'll tell you, very on point. I really enjoyed them.
Oh, that's so good.
That's an avenue I am going to definitely you'll be seeing more of me trying to figure out the Facebook Live and, and all of that.
Let me just tell you, one thing about social media is that it's a place where you find and can introduce yourself to people. And that's really the only huge use for it, is to create your own world, but to get to know people on social media. And I think that a lot of times, if you think about it as any other thing, then it gets confusing because you're like, well, what should I be doing, and what should work for me? But really, essentially, it's just about two people getting to know each other, but in the masses. You have to decide how many people you're going to reach, who's going to be your quality audience, and what platform you love to be on. Because if you don't like it and you don't understand it, you're not going to be on it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. An artist needs to have a mission.
Yeah,
statement.
you do. You really do. You've got to know. And like you said, you're into the branding and you're into marketing and you know about, the essentials needed. You've got to learn to tell your story. You've got to be a good storyteller. But the good thing is that we've got live streams. So if you're not great at writing your story, you can get on there and talk to people. And I think that has proven just to be so much more valuable than, depending on people to read everything on social media, which, how can they? It takes a lot.
Yes, you have to think about, to sit down, and I've been raised by a few big mentors. Little Bobby Farrell, he hung out with Patsy Cline and Jim Reeves, and I learned everything from how to perform to how to record, how to produce, how to write. It's important that you learn your craft.
It is.
And have a plan, have a mission statement, and know what you want to do and where you want to go. Jacqueline, I'd rather have only 50 diehard dedicated fans than several 100,000 that are just come and go. They unlike you, unfriend you. You know what I mean?
So true. I do too. It's the way to go. It really is. You can accomplish great things, with your hardcore super fans. You got to find them. You have to know who they are. But it is that one-on-one relationship. I can tell you. I've spoken to so many artists at this point, and I've noticed that the ones that do really, really well, they know who they're talking to. These people have come on their fan bases over time, and there are some that are just going to bat for them on a daily basis. And it has become essentially their street team.
Absolutely. One of the things I was taught by Little Bobby Farrell was, for every fan that actually takes the time and writes you, there's at least 10,000 more that didn't.
Yeah, there are.
And you covered that one, you write back to that one.
You should. I know, right?
Takes the time to make sure that they know that they've been heard. Have
to. The people that don't are doing themselves a disservice. I'm glad you mentioned that too, because it's very important to know that say you're on Facebook and you're in the timeline or the news, in the news feed, there's 1,500 other posts. If you take time to actually comment on somebody's post, that means something. That's like the ultimate compliment.
You might take them from the first step to the second. I have one site I'm on, and now I get repeat business. I call it. They come back and write me again.
Yeah, exactly. And it does. That relationship develops over time, and there's really no quick stepping through nurturing relationships. But I do think that there is a moment that happens with every artist where their street team is in place and their super fans are delivering that message in such a consistent way that they're able to reach out on crowd funds and, however it is that they want to source their business, their income to masses really quickly. But the building blocks have to be there. And I think that the building process is where a lot of people just kind of fall short. They're not able or, consistently mindful of putting in the time. It's not that they don't want to. I just think that they get lost a little bit along the way and discouraged, perhaps.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I do have some super fans and some, awesome people on my team, because it does get overwhelming at times.
It does.
I think, about 140,000 following me on Facebook, and I'm learning every day. I've got more and more from, and I don't know if you've seen the recent posts, but Italy and Japan and China, and I would love to have all the time in the world to write everybody, but sometimes it is difficult.
It can be, for sure. It can be. And, it's like I said, you're going to reach a time, and all of the musicians are going to reach a time where they surpass being able to reach out to one person at a time, and they're going to have to get on the live stream and interact, because you can't always keep it in that one-to-one relationship. Now, you know, a lot of things that I've noticed is, you know, you study people like Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift or people who are amassing huge fan bases and able to communicate and feel like kind of personal in a way with their fans.
Yeah.
It's happening because they actually show up and do the meet and greets with the most avid fans, and those avid fans are getting that personalized, you know, 1-minute experience of her in a room, you know, with maybe 100 of them, which breaks down the barriers, and then that creates massive amounts of super fans and people wanting to be there, you know. But it grows in time, and you have to take it as it comes. And, you know, it all starts with getting those super fans in place, and that's, you know, that's the work right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's been so nice talking to you. Thanks for being on the show with me and bringing your music and your story to AVA Live Radio. It's been a real pleasure, Dianne.
Well, yeah, likewise, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Very, very welcome. I look forward to seeing more from you and seeing what's going to come out next, you know. So keep us in the loop. Don't disappear.
I won't. You can bet on that.
Awesome. And if you find any new news on maybe undiscovered Prince things, I'm a Prince fan, so you can always send it my way. I love to look at, you know, undiscovered pieces of music or things that have happened that we might have missed.
I most certainly will.
All right. You have a great one, Dianne.
Hey, you too, Jack.
Awesome interview. So cool. She's, you know, very, very true about the building blocks that we talked about on the show today and everything going on in social media, you know, and where your fan base lies and what it is that you want to accomplish with your own music. It's different for everyone, right? It really is. Just as with Dianne Meinke, she's had a tremendous journey so far, and she's certainly looking forward to a tremendous journey moving forward. You never know what can happen. And one thing I've noticed that music brings to every life is it brings just a wonderful experience. The people that you meet through music, the things that happen to you through music, it's just so fulfilling and, you know, such a great way to be in this world, you know, and part of this life. So if you have musical talent, nurture it, get involved in it, you know, be more than the listener, be a patron of music, get involved with people's productions and help them fund them, or, you know, be in the business, you know, and take a piece of this wonderful, wonderful corner of the universe that I think is involved in everyone's life in some way, because we live our lives to music. You know, you never are in a perfectly quiet space. There's something on your phone, something on the computer, or something on the television or in the car radio. But even when you're out at a restaurant, you live your life to music. It's all around us. So you have to support it because it needs to be there for you tomorrow, and you're going to want great, great creators in this space. Special thank you to all of our guests on AVA Live Radio Behind the Music today, from Mellatone to Howard Lee Naylor. Thank you for bringing Ginger Girl to us. James Monroe in Germany, I1 affiliates over there in Dallas, and Dianne Meinke over in Albuquerque, Mexico. Great to have you guys. I love meeting you and talking to you on the show today. We'll be back again tomorrow with Behind the Music, again on Thursday as well. So don't forget to tune in, save the episode, download it, share it with a friend, and thank you so much for supporting AVA Live Radio and all that we do. We love you guys. Have a great one.
Hi, this is Tiffany, and I love AVA Live Radio.
This is Brian J. Klein, and I love AVA Live Music.
Hey, this is Rob Hill from Canada, and I absolutely love AVA Live Radio.
Hi, this is Tara Everly of Iridescence, and I love AVA Live Radio.
Hey, guys, this is Jacqueline Jackson. I love AVA Live Radio.
This is Lainey Nash, and I love AVA Live Radio.
This is Chris Bishop, and I love AVA Live Radio.
Hi, this is Naomi Thumb, and I love AVA Live Radio.
Hi, we're Orange Avenue,
and we love AVA Live Radio.